Now, in order to get that mouse over effect that I talked about in the last video, what we have to do is have two different pictures. And so we still have, these are the original lines that we typed in. So we still have the LI and the href, and we still close with the A tag and the LI. In between there, we have to put this image. It's called TH Black, with it is just a black thumbnail picture, just a black picture. We're going to use the same alt tag on it as we do for the picture itself. And one thing that we forgot in the last time around to do is that we never put in actually the caption information. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in, and then I suggest that you pause your video and type it in so that we can all be up to the same speed. I know that just started to look really bad, and it's not as bad as you think. So here is line 66. In mine, I don't know what line number you are on, but that should be about it. You're going to leave the LI and the ahref. Take the image source that you saw in the first one that I put in. So this is what you're adding, is the image source images/thblack.jpg. You're going to take the same alt tag from the actual photo, and you're going to put it into that alt tag, and then type in the cut line for each of them. In this case, it's general photography. So you're going to do that same thing for each of these items, making sure that you put in the black image, and then the alt tag for each of them, and the cut line. I would just go ahead and do one of them and then copy and paste I would do one of them and then copy and paste like this part of the code down on each one of them and just change the alt tag. Now that we have that all done, let's go and preview this and see what we've done to it. We've added the cut lines or the captions, and it doesn't look like any of those black items are in there. Now, looking at the code that you just spent a bunch of time typing in or copying and pasting, we have the two images in each list item. The first one is the black one, and the second one is actually the picture. Remember, I told you that when we put this style definition in, that it was going to talk about the z-index and the opacity. Okay? So position absolute top 0 basically puts them on top of each other. In order to see what it's doing, I'm going to take this out or comment it out. Let's go ahead and comment the whole thing out. So when we comment it out, you see that we now have the two pictures in each area. The black one, then the actual picture, and then the caption, which is how the code actually reads. Okay? What we need to do is take this one and move it on top of the black one. No, I'm sorry, we're moving the black one on top of this one. The black one is going to go on top of the actual picture, and then when they stack up, we'll be able to control the opacity, how dark the black is on the mouse over. Taking it a step at a time, let's go ahead and I'm going to leave the opacity off right now. So we're going to position absolute and top 0. And we're going to keep the z-index out of it too. Hold on a second. So what this is saying, what we're affecting is the first child of samples, the first image child of samples, which would indeed be the black one. So right now we're just doing the positioning, and you see that they, with the position absolute and top 0, the black is now completely on top of the other picture. Just to make sure that it stays on top, or to guarantee that it's on top, the z-index of 1 places it on top. Z-index is a stacking mechanism. The higher the z-index, the further towards the top or the front of the page something appears. If we make this a 0, let's try making it -1. We make it -1, it goes to the back. The default z-index of everything on the page is 0. So if you go up in numbers, you get closer to the front, closer to the top of the stack. If you go down in numbers, you go to the back of the stack. Because of the order that we have these in, z-index really doesn't matter here as long as we have it, even if we have it at 0, it doesn't matter. But just in case something gets changed, we're going to go ahead and make it a 1. With the opacity, opacity goes from 0 to 1. And let me get something to show you that. So here I have a sample from W3 Schools. It has the div has a background color of red, and the opacity is set at basically what you would think of as 50%. It's 0.5 opacity, as I said, goes from 0 to 1. If we change that opacity to 1, then it is completely opaque, meaning that it shows completely. If we change the opacity to 0, that makes it transparent. And any number in between, in decimal places, will change the opacity on it. So by making the opacity 0, we're making it transparent, and that's why, despite the fact that it is actually in front of the picture, you don't see it. Okay? So there's a reason we do that, and that's so that when we do a mouse over, or a hover on it, we can change the opacity. So this selector, a little bit long, basically what we're saying is inside samples, the A hover of the image first child and the inside samples, the A active of the image first child are both at 0.6 opacity. And when we do that, we get the mouse over effect that makes it look like the picture is actually dimming. And all that's happening here is that you're seeing the black picture come through. Now, this sort of selector, sometimes if you can't figure out what it should be, sometimes you have to figure out or just play with it a little bit to see what order they should be in. And that's the sort of thing, if you need help with it, please feel free to ask me, or even type in a Google search for it if you can't get a hold of me. But if you ask me about that sort of thing, I should be able to help you figure out what the selector is that you're looking for.